Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Gulfstream today. Ron Nicoletti along with Brian Nato. Just a sparkling day here. A little cool in South Florida, but look at that blue skies. Fast main track, firm turf course. Love that we're on the turf. And if you loved horse racing and you got a chance to watch the races yesterday, you had a fine day.
Yeah, it was a phenomenal day of racing. Obviously, Cat by Life is good, just running off the screen in the $3 million Pegasus World Cup. And Colonel Liam coming back off the layoff and defending his title, Regal Glory, much the best in the inaugural filly and mare turf. So it was just a thrilling day of racing.
Yeah, we're going to revisit those races a little later on in our lightning round, just to give you a little refresher how fantastic the racing was yesterday afternoon. But we got big news here, right here today with this 11 race card. We've got mandatory payout in the Rainbow Six, and there you see it. They're estimating over $3 million. Every time I always say this, I try and guess, and I'm usually off by $1 million or $2 million the other way. Less. They love to bet this thing on a day like today.
Yeah.
Got some good races in the sequence, too.
I think we're going to surpass that for sure. It's a tough sequence, but it's a sequence where, you can lean on some horses. We'll get to it. We've both got tickets, and looking forward to that, starting off in race 6.
Yeah, so let's get right into the action right now. And it's Sunday's first race is going to be a 1-mile maiden claimer for 3-year-olds, 12-5. We did have an early scratching here of the number 1 horse, and Brian put an early pick 5 ticket together.
Yeah, I did $48, I believe, as a ticket. We've got a deep spread here in the opener. No real opinion there. Number 4, Moni on top in race 2. A little bit of a spread in the third with number 3, Men on the Hill on top there. 5-3 in race 4, Doll Baby, that groupie doll first, so we'll see how that filly runs by Tappet. And then the single in the Get Out leg, T Waltz. We'll show a replay on that one, too, and I think he's poised to fire a big shot in there.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Kathleen O'Connell is the trainer of that horse. So let's get to race number 1. The current 8-5 favorite is the number 5, Volte Fach, who is a distant third at this level in the distance previously, stretches out after losing his best chance. He broke slow in that race. 16 maidens, going 7 furlongs last time out. I'm interested because Louis Sires is going to be in the saddle today, so I thought this one might be the logical choice.
It's a good point. I mean, the fact that Louis gets aboard after such a complete no-show last time, it's positive, and the race 2 back is probably better than anything anyone in here has done as well. So you're allowed to think, we can put that bad effort behind him. If he circles back around to the run 2 back, he's going to be very, very tough to deal with. And I know it's early in the betting, but I look at the board and he's 3-2 right now. The fact the money's showing is you don't want to see this horse up there at 7-1 come post time.
Exactly. And the number 2 horse who you have on top is a logical contender, and that's Goji's, who's dropping to the 12-5 level again. Yeah.
Gage Holmes got her first win the other day. That was cool to see. We showed it on the lightning round, getting doused and all that stuff. And Gerald Bennett's come around a little bit after a slow start to the meet. So, we get weight here. I'm not a huge weight guy, but we get 10 pounds. I don't think that's a bad thing at all in a race like this. And, the recent form of this one is plays with this group.
And Love in Paradise, drop it to this level on the main track, face tougher on the Tapeta and turf with limited success. Hey, you got to respect Mike Trombetta.
Absolutely. The barn's going to win some races here, and I think, that last race that this one comes out of, albeit routing on the Tapeta, was very, very fast.
So it's good that you went deep in this race because it is a wide open affair. Let's go to race number 2. This one is about 5 furlongs on the Tapeta. 4-year-olds and up, non-winners of 3 in life, 12-5 down to $10,000. And you did and I did start with the number 4 Money.
Well, I mean, anything on the Tapeta starts with David Fox, right? He's just been so prolific. 34% on the Tapeta, the ROI well above 330. So, you've got to go from Moni backwards, and I just think that third last time against what I feel is a better group than he meets today is going to make him pretty tough to deny in here.
Yeah, he's so good with the Tapeta runners, and you got Rafael Hernandez in the saddle. What about the number 2, Emma Crack? The Chilean bred is stepping up to the next level after using his speed to defeat those 12-5 2 lifetime runners at the distance for Amador Sanchez. Found a stat on Amador Sanchez. A winner last time out, all surfaces. He's 15 for 78, 19%, 45% in the money, and a big return of investment of $4.08.
Listen, he comes in off a win. I don't think that's ever a bad thing. And Amador Sanchez and Hector Barrios, I mean, not the most, high percentage trainer jockey combo. You put them together, they're 26% at Gulfstream with a 312 ROI. They blew up the board a couple weeks ago at 25-1, and I think Emma Crack is a player in here.
Yeah, and I closed it out with the horse you have in fourth, no commissions, giving the all-weather surface a try. Rallied to finish second against those 6,250 claimers, going 6 on the main track. His current sprint form, albeit on the dirt, earns him spot on my ticket.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't run bad last
No.
time, and Duop Don freaked that day. So
Yeah.
it was a good second. If he can handle the Tapeta, he's in the mix.
Let's go to race number 3 this afternoon. This one, 1 mile and 1/16 on the turf. These are maiden special weight 3-year-olds. Pretty nice field in here. Brian, both you and I started it off with Men on the Hill, who's stretching out today to the mile and the 16th after moving to the grass, getting Lasix, and finishing, I thought, a well-meant second, going 7.5 for Mr. Marcassi.
Yeah, and that's a brutal post last time, going 7.5 on the turf to be marooned out there in the 10 hole. So the post is much better today. He got to the turf last time for just his first time with Mark in the U.S., and he ran really well. Edwin Gonzalez, Marcassi, over 30% together. If this one makes the lead, if nobody wants to go, and on paper, there's not a lot of speed in here, I think it makes Men on the Hill that much tougher.
And, what about Celestial City? You have in second and I have in third. This one is the son of Uncle Bo, debuting for Shug McGee.
Yeah, second full out of the dam. The other one wasn't much, but the dam was 1 for 4, but a half to Himbook, who earned just a shade under $1 million for these connections. Plenty of works here, and Javier Castellano on point, all championship meet.
The number 2 Egyptian God, the Irish bred, is the son of El Kabir by Scat Daddy, debuting for trainer Chad Brown. You get Narad Ortiz. What a day he had yesterday. A name to ride. Need we say more?
Yeah, and Chad and Peter Brandt. Chad and Peter Brandt won the inaugural Philly Mare Turf with Regal Glory. He was so good. Second full out of the dam. The other one was 1 for 1. The dam was unraced, so it's we're trying to figure this out here. Down inside with a slew of works. I would think she can run a little bit.
Yeah, we'll see how that race plays out. A couple of really nice bred horses in there. Race number 4 this afternoon is that 7 furlong sprint. These are maiden special weight filly 3-year-olds. No scratches in here. I went to the inside horse. I'll kick it off with the number 2. Ketache, who's turning back to 7 furlongs after debuting locally and finishing at track the pace third, going a mile for Mr. Jonathan Thomas. Rad's going to be there, and this is a $375,000 daughter of Arrogate.
Yeah, Jonathan and George Strawbridge have teamed up for a couple good wins at the meet, and this is a cutback too from a 1-turn mile back to 7. I like that. And this daughter of Arrogate, well, this was her first start on the main track as well after a couple synthetic all-weather races. So Irad is here, probably puts her in the game early. And listen, there's some well-bred firsters in here, but they could need it. I picked one, but if not, Katish is definitely the house horse with the form.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the beauty on the number 5 Doll Baby and by Tap It.
You know what? By Tap It out of Groupie Doll, who was so good. Breeders' Cup, Philly Mare Sprint winner and all that. But this is the 5th full, that she's dropped. The other 4 weren't much, admittedly, not much at all. What tilted me is there's a slew of works. Ralph Nix has done so well at the championship meet, and really Jose Ortiz is going to ride here too. So I thought just maybe there's some intent, by Tap It. Maybe this Doll Baby can run a little bit. We'll see. This is the type of horse you want to see live on the tote board, taking money. We talked about it in the opener. If Doll Baby's up there at 7-8 to 1, I don't think today's the day.
Of course, by Whisper Hill Farms with those tappets. What about the inside horse I used in here? Trying to get a little bit of a price. Well, actually, it's still its second choice on the morning line. And that's Desert Dalliance, is the daughter of Cairo Prince, debuting for Kelly Breen with Lasix and Paco named to handle the always interesting, as I call it, the inside post today. Found the stat with Kelly Breen. First-time starter, sprints on the dirt. Big sampling. He's 17 for 105, 16%, 45% in the money. 132 is the ROI. Nothing to jump around about, but I wanted to show it. Just the okay performances.
Yeah, I don't know. She looks fast on works, that's for sure. And Paco's here, but Paco rides a lot for Kelly, so I don't think that's that a big of a deal. But you look at those last 2 works, and they were really sharp. And, if she breaks running, Paco is under away from there. $7,500 daughter of Cairo Prince, so she didn't sell for that much. Maybe she can run a little bit. Another one in here, check the tote board. Relaxation, a Phipps homebred's got some pedigree with Javier riding. Check the tote board here in this one.
Yeah, that's it. You got to look. There's so many beautifully bred horses in that race. You got the 6 horse, who's a daughter of one of my favorite sires, Into Mischief. We'll go to race number 5 this afternoon, and this one is about 5 furlongs on the all-weather surface. These are claimers, fillies, and mares, 4-year-olds and up. Non-winners of 2 in life, 12-5 down to $10,000. And I know you had some interest in here in the number 6 T-Waltz.
Yeah, it's our first replay we'll show, and I thought she ran pretty well. She got tightened up on late. She's going to be the 5 horse here at Tampa, and of course those jacks are better silks that we know so well. So she's being urged, but they're flying at Tampa 21 flat, and she's going to come through inside a little bit. And I thought she checked a little bit late. I'm not saying she would have won. She would have been closer. It was her first start for Kathleen O'Connell. It was her first start off a pretty long layoff as well, and Kathleen has just been on point all championship meet, and she's been really sharp on the synthetic. So here we're going to see a little trouble. Again, I don't think it cost her the win, don't get me wrong, but I think she ran pretty well. She's going to get tightened up on a little bit here coming up near in the stretch. And I think now we go to the synthetic today, and I think Kathleen's done such a good job on the Tapeta, that T-Waltz. The other thing, Ronnie, I like, she brings this horse in from Tampa. It's a confident move. Yes, it's a quote-unquote drop-in class, running for more money here, and Kathleen is so astute at spotting her horses.
Yeah, Kathleen, 18% with the turf to all-weather surface moving. Of course, that's just in its infancy. We've had it since late September, so those stats are building, and she's one of the best. I did go with the 5 Queen Callisto, who's going to the Gustavo Delgado barn after the claim, rallied 5 wide to finish 4th, was only beaten 3/4 of a length in that race at this level and distance. The barn is 30% with new claims. Jose Ortiz in the saddle today.
Yeah, and Gustavo's very likely to move this horse up for Joe Cantonese, who does a very good job, and is having a very good championship meet, by the way. This is a barn. This is their game here, and the fact that, hey, Jose Ortiz, you want to ride? We're very live. I think, you would expect Queen Calypso to fire a big, big shot in here.
I had some interest in the number 2 horse in here, and that's Cherokee Chatter, who's was an impressive second, I thought, in a local debut against similar quality, going 5.5 furlongs on the all-weather surface. The Tapeta, the mare's trained by Tim Girton, and you got Edwin Gonzalez in the irons again.
Yeah, I mean, the barn hasn't run many at the meet, but you look at overall in 2021, 18% from a relatively large sample, and you're right, this horse did run very, very well last time against a little bit lesser. Edwin Gonzalez has ridden this Tapeta course very, very well since its infancy. There's no reason Cherokee Chatter can't get a piece here and here.
Spent a good time of my childhood in the Fillmore East, so watching it, and that's who you have a third, I believe. Was that your third, the 8?
Yeah, I mean, the horse figures.
I did.
Statement of fact, right? We go off the claim here for Jose Delgado, and we know how good the barn has been all meet long. Luis Saez gets aboard here, hitting at 32% off the claim. So, yeah, Fillmore East could move forward in a big way today.
I live right around the corner there in Manhattan, so that's why. We're going to take a short break. We're going to come back, and we're going to have dueling Rainbow Six tickets. We'll see how this plays out in just a little while.
And they're off. Second in the 2-path. Round by Hurd inside. Race. And a 1/4 of a mile to go, and he's 6 on top. Last of the 12 as they roll into the backstretch.
Welcome back to Gulfstream today. Ron and Brian. The 6th race this afternoon, 1 mile and 1/16 on the turf. Maiden special weight fillies, 3-year-olds. More importantly, mandatory payout today in the Rainbow Six, and pretty nice sequence. You got to have your handicapping shoes on.
Yeah.
We had this big debate. Was mine going to be 43.20? Let's take a look at our tickets there. You'll see mine up there first, $97.20. Brian lent me the other money from the $43 so I can play this ticket here. We'll talk about the 6th race in a minute. In the 7th, I got Don't Get Cozy, our fantasy race day speed. In race number 8, 3 deep again for me with the 1, 2, and 7, Bandamere, Curbstone, and Sosa Summer. And then in race number 9, I think the race goes through Coy. It's the 3 horse in there, but I also saved a little bit with Tropicat, and I got coverage going all the way through till the end. 3 and 3, so 97-20 for me this afternoon.
Yeah, I'm kind of right there with you. I think I got a few more bucks, $1.15. I'd like to think I'm going to be alive after 3 legs. I'm going to spread. I'm going to hope to catch a price. I've got a long shot in race 6 we'll talk about, and then race 7. I'm kind of using everybody. Race 8 is a deep spread and a good maiden special way on the turf. My best bet of the day is Coy, who I think is going to be very, very tough, as you alluded to, Ron, and then a little more condensed. The last 2 legs, admittedly, are going to be problematic. If I can get there, I've got to hope I'm right. Midday Image on top, and then in the get-out leg, let's hope we're all still alive. Number 3, Rocket Joe Copper for Kathleen again.
Rocket Joe Copper. So getting back to this mile and the 16 turf event, I did go with the number 7 horse in here, and that's Beside Herself. And this one will get both Lasix and blinkers today after rallying to finish third in front of a pair of next out winners in a local turf debut. At this level and distance for Todd Pletcher, who just had a spectacular day yesterday. Louis Saez in the saddle again.
Yeah, I mean, kudos to Todd for not only getting Life is Good, to stretch out and win the Pegasus World Cup, but also Colonel Liam coming back and just firing a monster shot to double up. Beside Herself, a Michael Tabor homebred. I talked about this horse last time in December. There's a big, big pedigree here in the bottom, especially excited from the family of Spain who won a Breeders' Cup distaff. So I would be no surprise. 3rd start of her career, of her form cycle. Todd's going to try to sharpen her up a little bit with blinkers going on. Lasix goes on here as well. An absolute must-use in a spread race.
Yeah, I had the 11 on my ticket, which scratched out. It was a late scratch, Queen Matcha. So I bumped up number 9, Public Services, the daughter of Hart Spun, debuting for Chad Brown. So I've got to have this one. Talking about not wanting to get knocked out by a horse like this, you got to put it somewhere on your ticket.
Absolutely. It's Chad. It's Seth Klarman. Irad's here. The dam. Second foal out of the dam. She was 5 for 27. Nothing special, but there's plenty of works here. And the fact that Irad shows up for his main man, Chad, for Seth Klarman, I think there's lots to like here.
Well, what about your 10 horse here that you have on top?
So this is my long shot play of the day, Missouri, and we'll take a look at the replay in here. I thought she ran just sneaky good. She's the 5 horse when we see her. And here she is down inside. Great job here, guys. This is exactly where I wanted to show it. She's down inside, and then she's going to tip out, and she's basically going to deliver a sustained. It's about a 3-4 furlong run here. It's a sustained run. Graham Motion's not a guy that's going to crank him up first out. She was 15-1. She was 10th, 13 lengths behind. She ends up getting beaten 4. Look at her tipping way out here. And I thought she leveled off nicely in the lane, showed a lot of interest on a little bit of a problematic trip. And I think today, she puts it all together. I really like the fact that Graham reached out and got Paco aboard too, because we all know you don't want to be out the back on this turf course. That's obvious. And I would think the fact that Graham, enlists Paco to ride, says, I want to put her in the race a little bit more early on. A patient barn that's having success at the championship meet. I think she moves forward in a big way in just a race. Clearly, I think that's also there for the taking.
Yeah, every one of Graham's horses have run exceptionally well here. Not everyone a winner, but they've all run exceptionally well. So as you see, that's how the Rainbow 6 situation is going to kick off today. So we'll go to race number 7, and race number 7 this afternoon. Interesting race. And I went with the number 4 horse in here. This one, of course, 7 furlong starter optional claimer. Fillies and Mad started for 12.5 or less, or that optional tag of 20,000. I went with the 4 Don't Get Cozy. He's dropping it to the starter. Optional claimant, turning back to 7 furlongs, 10 previous races, 3 wins, 4 seconds. Shipping up to Tampa, finishing 3rd. That was in the mile in the 16, wayward last for Antonio Sano. And I just think he spots this hard-knocking mare perfectly against this. Seems to fit the condition perfectly.
Yeah, don't forget, too, that was 2 turns up at Tampa. Now she cuts back. How cool is this? She's run 32 times at Gulfstream on the main track. She's 10 wins in 11 seconds. You want to talk about a hard knocker, as you said. A daughter of Kozan here. Antonio does a good job, and I think she's in a good spot myself.
And what about the number 7 horse in here that you used?
You know, you gotta reach a little bit, and you gotta be forgiving a little bit with Lavi. But Luis Saez gets aboard. It's second off a little bit of a layoff. You know, Victor Barboza put her in the claiming crown last time. It didn't work out. That's 2 races in a row now where she hasn't done any running at all. But Luis gets aboard. You look at her prior form shortly off the claim, and she had some good races and races that would play with these from an outside post with a nice attack post. I'm hoping Luis puts her in the game early. We'll see what happens.
The number 5, our fantasy, cutting back to 7 furlongs after following her set the pace second. That was in the 1 mile claiming crown glass slipper with another speedy second place finish going a mile. 4, Safi Joseph Jr., Jose Ortiz handling the turn back in distance this afternoon.
Well, I think that's the perfect way to put it, the turn back, because she went a mile last time and she didn't see it out. You can see right there she gave it up pretty badly late. A clear length lead at 1-2. The cut back to 7 should be a lot more beneficial to her today.
And one other horse we'll just touch on. I have a third, you have a fourth. That's Race Day Speed is stepping up the competition after rallying to defeat those state-bred optional claimers, going 7. 4, trainer Tammy Levy, Chantal Sutherland going for 2 in a row.
Yeah, I mean, she ran well last time. And you know, that's a race that puts her in the mix. This is not a group of world beaters, open company or not. That was a good race against Florida Breds, and she's in form here.
Let's go to the 8th race, and let's go back to the turf. This one is going to be a mile and a 16th. Maiden special weight 3-year-olds. Had a scratch in here of my best bet of the afternoon, Mr. Cellular, and Julian Leperoux will be on the 7th, so I bumped up into the number 1 horse, Bandemir, who's the son of More Than Ready, debuting for Chad Brown with Lasix. Arad Ortiz Jr. named to handle the inside yard. Boy, I better have a good day this afternoon, all the horses I picked.
Yeah, you had some sharpening the pencil in the office this morning with all those scratches that you had. I was not affected. You had to do some homework there. But Bandemir's in the mix here. It's Chad. It's Irad. Third full out of the dam. The other 2 were okay. The dam was 1 for 9, but a full to Cat Burglar, who earned over $500,000, predominantly on dirt. But there's some pedigree here, and again, it's Chad and Irad, Windstar teaming up as well.
What about the number 2 horse in here, Curbstone, is debuting locally for trainer Brendan Walsh after showing improved speed with blinkers when he finished a pace-setting second on the turf up at Belmont, and second again in an off-the-turf affair going to mile under 16th on the Keeneland, main track. This son of Street Sense gets Lasix. Javier Castellano, I think this horse has a shot to be there.
Absolutely. Let's just focus on the Belmont run 2 back. We can be forgiving of the debut. Look at the Belmont run where she got on the lead and ran really, really well. Now Lasix is going to go on too. You're allowed to think maybe her speed carries a little bit more.
Yeah, so we'll see how that plays out. Who else did you use on your ticket here?
Well, I've got number 6, Flash Frost on top. Michael Matz does a good job, and this one was 25-1 on debut. So obviously, the son of Frosted needed the race, but they paid $120,000. Junior Alvarado is here. I thought the horse ran pretty well on debut, to be honest with you. From a bad post, we draw better today. We get a little bit longer to run with, too, and we have the experience in that tightener out of the edge.
Good horse to use on the Rainbow 6 ticket. Race number 9 this afternoon. About 5.5 furlongs on the Tapeta starter allowance, 4-year-olds and up started for $20,000 or less. You're single right here in the Rainbow 6. One of the only race I didn't use cup 3. I used 2 because I think this horse Coy is the one to beat.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. We're going to show both wins here, 2 and 3 back, and there's no trip here. There's nothing like that. I just want to show how dominant this horse was. Here you can see in the fog, I guess in the rain, I should say, and he's just going to roll on the outside for fun. This was the first win. 3 back. He's a number 3 horse here, and he just absolutely wins for fun. And went up to Turfway Park, and it didn't work out in a so we could say it's a salty spot for a horse like this. He is what he is. He's in the starter allowance ranks, but Liz Doble's had him going so good. Here he is just winning for fun. He's going to do it right back and against Florida Breds on November 5th. And, you're maybe that race up at Turfway took something out of him. You're allowed to wonder and think that. But you watch these 2 races. Listen, if you're a buyer, speed figure fan, if not, but whatever. But the 98 and 97, Ronnie, there isn't anybody in this field running numbers like that. So if he comes back like he left, boy, he's going to be really tough.
Absolutely tough in there. And back in Elizabeth's barn, not that he really left us to
Yeah.
change trainers when
No.
this horse went up the turfway. Two-time winner, as you just seen, impressively, has Lionel Reyes handling the homecoming this afternoon. The number 7 Tropicat is making the usually fruitful third start of his current form cycle after responding to the surface switch. I thought ran a well-meant dead heat, actually, for third against similar competition, which included the winner in that day, and that's Frenchman Street, who we both have on the ticket.
Yeah, and you know, he ran very, very well. Again, Ralph Nix, we've talked about the barn, how good the barn has been. 24% on synthetics as well. And here's Javier getting aboard on a big, big chance.
And, you know, Frenchman Street, this one likes to win races in bunches. You look back, this was bottom level claimers on the grass would reel a bunch off. Now going for its third in a row after inculking that 5-wide rally last time out to win by, as I mentioned, by a nose over Tropicat. That was a pretty good race. They all hit the wire together.
It was, and so it's tough to separate them. That's one thing. But you're right. He loves winning races. He's in very, very good form. He's going to have to work out a trip from down inside, but Luis Saez did it last time from the outside. I'm sure he can do it again here.
Let's go to race number 10. It's a 1-mile turf event. Allowance optional claimers 4-year-olds and up. The optional tag is $25,000. And hey, we agree on this one. Midday
I like
Image.
it.
Take it away.
Yeah, I mean, I think he presses, stalks the inside speed of Call Kurt and goes about his business off the far turn, or at least that's what I'm hoping. Paco's going to have him in prime position. We've talked about this turf course a lot. Never surprised. Tried to do it yesterday. Almost wired the Pegasus World Cup turf. You want to be close early.
The number 8 horse in here, Skyro, is making his first start since finishing a willing third against Allowance. You know, runners going a mile on the Saratoga turf for Brian Lynch. Arad's going to be in the saddle. Gelded son of Verrazano coming off the bench. I think this horse is in an ideal spot to maybe grab a share.
For a barn that is live at the championship meet with everything it's sent out, and this is a class drop. I mean, you look at that Saratoga race early in the meet, ran very, very well. Does he need it? Maybe, but I think he's in a good spot here.
The number 3, Kabbalah Miss, is going back to the turf after responding in the first race after the claim by Carlos David with a win on the Tapeta. That race was scheduled for the turf, and it was moved to the Tapeta surface. So I found the stat, just Carlos David, second after the claim, a winner last time out. Very small one, but a good one. 3 for 12, 25%, 75% in the money. 163 is the return investment. It hasn't happened much, but when it does, he does awful well with it.
Yeah, and this horse is going to run for the first time on the turf for Carlos. So, you know, that was a freakish effort last time on the Tapeta. We'll see what we get today, but, you know, there's no doubt he's in very, very good form.
Let's go to the final race on the card. It's about 1 mile and 70 yards on the Tapeta. Claimers 4 and up, $10,000. Did have a scratch in here of the number 5 horse, and you started it off with the number 3. And we talked about this earlier. Rocket Joe Copper.
Rocket Joe Copper, there's a name. A little bit of a layoff here for Kathleen O'Connell. Paco is here. We get to the Tapeta. You know, he hasn't really proven anything on the synthetic. He's only run once on an all-weather surface, but the fact Kathleen runs him here, reaches out for Paco, and he was in such good form in those 2 starts on the main and then on the turf here at Gulfstream Park.
I went with the 4th Devoted Kitten, who's a sharp winner at this level and distance. That was 3 starts back. Drops after making that 5-wide charge last time out to finish 4th against 20 claimers, going a mile in the 16th on the Tapeta for Jorge Delgado, which I found a stat. Just 50% drop in claiming price. He's 12 for 51, 24%, 55% in the money. 163 is the return of investment, so he knows where to spot his horses. So Devoted Kitten, second choice on the morning line.
Yeah, I might have missed this horse, admittedly, because, you know, he didn't really do a lot of running 2 back, and last time was kind of okay, but they were against so much better. You focus on that race 3 back, and Chantel is here. She does such a good job for the barn.
What about the number 9, Utrid, who moves to the Gustavo Delgado barn?
Yeah, we go off the claim for Gustavo. Irad is here. We've run well on the Tapeta in the past. Maybe moves up just a little bit and won't have to move up that much for a barn that's 4 for 11 off the claim.
Well, that's how we see the 11 races this afternoon. Now we're going to turn it over to our lightning round. Have you heard this mention this a couple of times already? And it's worth mentioning again because there's a mandatory payout in the Rainbow Six, and they're expecting $3 million. Brian's thinking it's more. He's giving me the thumbs up, so we'll see how that works out. Just a great day. Got some turf races in there. You got all different kinds of surface, which makes it a fun day, and all around the country will have their eyes trying to get this. We promised that we'd recap recap the stretch runs of these fantastic races yesterday. So let's kick it off with the filly and mare turf. And Brian was screaming after this race. Did you see how all the trouble Regal Glory had and still won like a champion?
She was a month and a half the best going against the course profile. She checked out of it early. I think she was about 9th or 10th early. She swoops and loops the field. And I don't know what the final margin was, but if she wanted, she was probably about 3 times better than the final margin. Just a powerful performance for Chad Brown and Peter Brandt.
Yeah, and Colonel Leo comes back and defends his crown in the Pegasus turf. And what a day for Todd Fletcher, because he had the 1-2 finish again in this race.
Yeah, Ronnie, we saw 3 horses in the paddock from Todd on Wednesday. Colonel Liam, never surprised, and Life is Good, and all 3 of them delivered. I mean, I thought this was so impressive, the job Todd did. You know, this horse hadn't been out since June. This is a solid field. Does he need the race? It's the start of what they hope is a championship campaign, and he delivers that off the bench. And his stablemate got loose, and that's very problematic. And his stablemate is very, very good too. He's going to win a lot of races this year as well.
And then, of course, we ended the day, and everybody couldn't wait for this race when Life is Good just dominates the Pegasus World Cup Invitational.
Just absolutely an awesome, powerful performance. Got loose and just essentially he Knicks-Go'd this field. He just ran them off their feet, and Knicks-Go had a little trouble into the first turn and didn't have his customary position on the lead, and Life is Good just ran a hole in the wind. I talked to Brad Cox after the race. I'm glad to see Knicks-Go ran, didn't pack it in his last start, maybe a Hall of Fame career, and I talked to Brad, and he said, man, that horse just ran off the TV screen, and that's exactly what happened. So that was really cool to see a performance like that in our marquee race.
And my job was to talk to Joel Rosario after the race, and he just said that he didn't have any big trouble at the gate. He just broke out, and the horse was gone. Life is Good is gone, so he had to go from a speed move to a chase mode. That's what you have to do. And he said he just ran his race, and nothing, can't say anything bad about the winner. It just was fantastic. So Life is Good. You'll be hearing that name all year long.
Yeah, without a doubt. And it gives Todd so many options now. He's Breeder Cup Dirt Mile winner, freakishly fast in these 7-furlong, 1-turn mile races. And now he's a 9-furlong Grade 1 winner over a Horse of the Year. So the world's his oyster now.
And we're going to be joined a little later by Acacia Courtney. That's if she woke up in the office there, because she worked so hard yesterday. What a superstar. She was everywhere. So she'll be joining us throughout the afternoon. We had a fun day yesterday. Going to have more fun today. My Rainbow tickets are going to win. I don't know about his, but mine's going to win. Good luck, everybody.
I remember the first time I came to Gulfstream. It was like this big fairy tale place.
We back.
Northern Dancer, winner of the Florida Derby.
Yeah.
All the history, all these great horses, trainers, jockeys.
It is Barbaro to the final furlong. He is a neck in front. Barbaro wins!
It was everything that I ever dreamed of.
Sunday silence surges to the front.
First day, opening day of championship meet, I was kind of starstruck. You're watching LeBron James, and then next thing you know, you're playing basketball against him. That's how I felt when I'm riding with Donnie V, riding with Irad, Luis.
So many famous people come, Post Malone, Pharrell, J-Lo was there. It's epic.
The weather is beautiful. The facility is phenomenal.
It's all about Knicks-Go. Knicks-Go makes it 4 in a row.
It's one of the most beautiful tracks in the country, surrounded by some of the greatest horses and riders. It's amazing.
I'd always had a really deep love of animals. When I started riding, I felt that instant connection. It was this horse, Siren, that she was a thoroughbred, she'd been on the racetrack. It really shaped me growing up because I had to learn how to be confident, but I also had to be compassionate. And she really was that first love I had of a horse.